but I guess what we've made is a classic Def Leppard record, so it is a return to a specific kind of sound for sure. But having done what we did with the Slang record and gone through the 90s and just about survived, it seemed like the right thing to do.
Let's talk about the Slang album for a second. That was Joe who answered that. I'll throw this at Phil. Was the Slang album that Def Leppard needed to record creatively?
We really enjoyed it. I'm still a big fan of it. I think it was great, and it's a shame not more people got to hear it, because it's a really cool album. It was just a bit different the way we recorded it. A lot of it was cut live, and on the so-called classic Def Leppard albums, we done everything separately. You know, it was a bit different. All the stuff we done in the 90s was a little bit different. It was similar to other bands. You write a song, you record it, and that's it. With the stuff we done with Mutt, you know, like Pyromania, Hysteria, and some of the Adrenalized stuff, we wrote the song, tore it to pieces, then recorded it some more, and we actually had that approach on Euphoria. So it was going back to that kind of method of recording, so there's obviously similarities there as well.
And on Euphoria, Rick, 10 months at Joe Elliott's house, besides free rent, what was the draw?
It was cheap.
It was cheap.
That was the draw.
That was the draw.
Yeah. I'm the best landlord in the world.
Yeah, you didn't charge anything. No rent. That's unbelievable. Eliminated travel time and that type of stuff for you, though, Rick, where you were all there and able to work and not have to do any commute or anything like that, huh?
It was actually really good. It was good to be under one roof, and I don't know, it was good because we got on. You know, we got on well together, and I think that was the most important thing. I think that's one of the main reasons why the album sounds the way it does.
Chemistry's really an overworked phrase, but you got to have it, don't you?
Absolutely. You know, one thing about us, which we've always had, and we always said it, there's a great union thing. There's a friendship, which is that's the premier thing with us. You know, we're musicians second or whatever, but that you got to have that. We've lived together and done tons of stuff together for years, and you know, we like each other, and it really makes a difference.
Well, you can hear that on the record too. And your studio is called Joe's Garage.
Yeah, in kind of honor of the Frank Zappa album, it seemed like
what I was going to get to. Yeah,
it seemed like a natural thing to call it. You know, Joe's studio didn't have the same kind of
the same ring.
The Elliott Mansion or some stupid title.
What about studio? We done some stuff upstairs as well. There was a spare bedroom. It was like, Joe, you know that room? Do you think we could put a vocal booth in there? So yeah, sure. And then it was the room next to that as well, which was the office, and that was like we had some studio stuff in there. But I don't know whether we had a name for that. It was just Studio 2, wasn't it?
It became Studio 2.
Yeah, Studio 2.
It was the complex. Was Joe's Garage. There was Studio 1 downstairs and Studio 2 upstairs.
That's such a great song by Zappa, and it really is about a true garage band.
Well,
somebody trying to make it, just playing around.
Bob, I'll be quite honest with you, I've never heard it.
You've never heard it?
I just saw it written on an album sleeve once about 15, 20 years ago.
It's a wonderful album.
Yeah, and that song in particular is outstanding.
The thing I remember most is Weasels Rip My Flesh, because of the album cover.
Yeah,
great sleeve.
The album cover. Yeah, it did so much great work. The first single is Promises. How did you arrive at the first single? Unanimous choice? Record label choice?
Actually, it was a bit unanimous, that one.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It kind of spoke for itself more than anything else. It really was the very typical Def Leppard sound, and it sounded fresh. We hadn't done it for a long time. Nobody else, thank God, is kind of copying us anymore. So all of a sudden, the classic Def Leppard sound had become almost the alternative, because it's certainly not the kind of thing that gets released every week. And it's the kind of song that we thought would be a very cool way to start the whole project off.
And it's taken off like a rocket. Here's Promises for you on Rockline. It's an evening with Def Leppard on Rockline from Euphoria, the brand new CD. That song is called Promises. We have Joe, Phil, and Rick from the band with us tonight. If you'd like to speak with anybody, just call toll-free 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. Rockline brought to you by the U.S. Army. Just a bunch of animals here tonight, huh? Def Leppard with me on Rockline and Bob Coburn. If you'd like one of our 99 Rockline calendars, send a postcard with your name, address, the station you listen to Rockline on, and mail it to 99 Rockline Calendar, P.O. Box 4383, Hollywood, California, 90078. Ready for phone calls, guys?
Oh, yeah.
We got a ton tonight from Dayton, Ohio. Monica, you get to start us off.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say I really love the new album, and I've listened to it every day since I got it the week it was released. And my question is, could you please explain to me what exactly is living on a paper sun?
It's kind of like burning your bridges. It's something that's you're gonna come terribly unstuck at some point. Basically, that's what it means. It's kind of a metaphor for that.
It was kind of harkens back to the story of Icarus in mythology. He flew too close to the sun.
There you go.
The wings
Absolutely.
melted, and poof, he was gone.
Yeah. In this song, it's just a matter of time before it happens to the person or the persons it's about.
Yeah, and that was Phil who answered your question. Monica, thanks for starting us off, and I'm glad you enjoyed the CD. We're going to head to the New York City area. Tom, you're on Rockline with Def Leppard.
Good evening. I enjoyed your music over the years. My question is, other bands put out a box set. Any intentions of putting out a box set from your band?
Well, we kind of always thought that we'd do one around the 20th or the 25th anniversary. Having discussed this for the
Recently,
last 3 to 4 years or so, me and Phil was saying, we've got all these tracks we can use. And one of our managers said that we probably won't be doing it because the novelty factor of the box set is kind of worn off a lot. And so we're either going to have to beat him up.
Because we've actually got a bunch of material. We've got live stuff dating back since I joined the band. Actually, even before that, that was like 82. So we got all this live stuff. We always record on tour. And plus we've got like covers of other band songs and stuff. Some really cool things lying around. So it would be a nice idea.
And the initial, the EP, the legendary Def Leppard EP that got us a record deal in the first place, has never actually come out on CD.
Never seen the light of day.
No.
On
So,
CD,
it would kind of make sense, and maybe we'll have this discussion again, see if we can figure one out.
Let's go back to Tom for a second here. Tom, would you like a box set to be out?
Definitely. I would like to see a collection of all their great hits.
I think the fans are going to vote yes on this, so you might want to talk to your managers about that, Tom, how much would you pay for it?
It depends. If it's 3 CDs, maybe about $40, $45.
Hey,
Well,
all right.
we've got the 2 CD one here. How much are you prepared to pay for that?
Let's do a little negotiating with Tom here. Tom, thanks for being on. We'll head to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania now to speak with Ruth. Welcome to Rockline, Ruth.
Hi.
Hi, Ruth.
Hello, Ruth.
Hi, this is Rick Allen. Congratulations. You have one beautiful girl there.
Oh, thank you very much. I think so.
I agree. How's touring and being a new father work for you?
I love it. I was doubting, whether I was going to actually get out on tour or not, because it's getting very, very comfortable at home. But duty calls. Have to go with the guys.
He pulled the couch from under him.
You pulled the couch from under him. That's great. How has it changed you emotionally, psychologically?
It's like meeting a best friend for the first time. That's the only way I could describe, the whole sort of birth and what have you.
That's pretty deep, Rick.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible. It was incredible. And now it just gets better.
Well, it's a good thing you decided to tour, because you got diapers to pay for now. You're going to run through those pretty darn quick there. Did you bring any pictures or anything?
Normally I do, but they're back at the ranch.
Oh, well, thank goodness we have a photograph. Photographed by Def Leppard on Rockline and Bob Coburn. We have Joe Elliott, Phil Collen, and Rick Allen with us tonight. And we have a call from Siri. She is in New Haven, Connecticut. Welcome to Rockline.
Hi, guys. I want to say I love the new album. And
Thank
I love
you.
Flying,
Thank
and
you.
that was a great album, too.
Thanks.
Right.
And
thanks.
my question is, if you're going to do a sequel to Animal Instinct, because there's another 12 years that we'd all love to know about.
That's a very good point, actually. Someone else brought this up, because there's tons of stuff to talk about. We just haven't got around to doing it, I guess. It would be nice. It'd be like the box set. It'd be a cool thing to do as well. So, I don't know. Perhaps it would be a good thing to do.
Thank you for the call, Siri. And we'll head to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Bruce, you're on Rockline with Def Leppard.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
I have 2 questions, actually. The first one is, have you had any problems with the new album as you have with other albums in the past?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I know they've had problems with, like alcoholism or an accident or things of that nature.
This is probably the first album since the very first record we did where we didn't have any problems at all. In that respect, we didn't have anybody die on us. We didn't.
Well, I
have
had my mum die on me.
Yeah, but I mean, within the band.
Yeah.
You know, there was no major accidents, no major traumas. It was relatively pain-free 10.5 months of all the stress was just in the making of the record, if there was any stress at all, not just trying to keep the thing on track and make a record as well.
Except for the fact everyone was in your home for 10 months. You know?
That was easy. You know, that was the easy bit.
Just replace the sheets and stuff. And
yeah.
And I think Bruce may have had something else on his mind. Bruce, what else?
Yeah, the second question. First of all, I hope your luck continues that way.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I heard Joe Elliott once in an interview say something about advancing musically. I just want to know, why would you want to advance perfection, because that is what you have achieved?
I think what it is, if I say something like advancing musically, it's a case of really try not to repeat yourself too many times. Most bands have a sound, and it's almost born from day one. The Who will always sound like The Who, no matter how they try not to sound like the early Who. There's just a distinction, and the same with Led Zeppelin or the Stones.
It's the way you play, the way you sing, yeah.
And I think that the most radical we got was with the Slang album, where we really did try and make a record that was a total 360 turn round from what our usual sound is. Again, it's individual opinion will say whether we succeeded or not. We think we gave it a damn good try to do something that was a little bit more inventive. But with the new album, it was just a case of the improvement from within each individual member of the band is what we try to perfect, trying to get the songs to sound better than the last time we wrote songs. Me trying to sing better, Rick trying to play drums better, Phil playing better guitar, all that kind of thing. That's all you can ever try and do, is just keep improving on what you do.
We learnt a fourth chord as well.
A fourth chord as well.
That was an improvement.
Always comes in handy now, that fourth chord, yeah.
It was a D minor, which is the saddest of all keys.
And where have we heard that before? We'll hear another new song, and of course some more classics coming up in just a moment. Your number toll-free, 1-800-344-ROCK. It's Rockline with Def Leppard. Welcome back to Rockline, an evening with Def Leppard. Rock Brigade there, right? Yeah. Going all the way back to
1980.
Yeah, first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Recorded in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks?
Blind drunk all the lot of us.
Actually, we did the backing tracks in 2 days.
Yeah.
Somebody else was running the machines for you then, huh?
It was a devilish time. It certainly was.
Next week, Ted Nugent will join us on Rockline. And remember, you can now email questions to us. And next week for Ted Nugent, rockline@aol.com. That's rockline@aol.com. We have an email question from Joan in Rancho Cucamonga in California for Def Leppard, and it reads as follows. I read on one of your websites that this record was your swan song. I'd never heard that before. Is there any truth to the rumor? You guys still have a big audience and a lot to offer.
I heard that the other day. We was in Miami, actually, and someone came
thought
on.
Led Zeppelin were on Swan
Absolutely.
In bad company for a while, too, yeah.
No, it's one of them funny old rumours, when you hear that you're dead or something like that. It's just one of them. It's the first we've heard of. Well, it wasn't actually last Saturday was the first I'd heard of that one, but just a rumour. No, we're having a great time.
So you're not ready to say goodbye, which I'm about to play the song Goodbye, and I'm not going to do another pun going into this song. But yeah, you're going to be around for a while here. Now, Sav wrote this, didn't he, Rick Savage?
Yeah.
Any comments on this song before we play it?
Well, it's great. It's a classic ballad, and I don't know. I think a lot of people can relate to it lyrically and everything, and it's just really cool, and all the girls love it as well. So it's a neat song. It's probably going to be our next single after Promises as well.
And nobody wants to have to say goodbye.
You're listening to Rockline on WKLC, WCOZ, St. Albans, Charleston, Huntington.
Band with us tonight, and a call from Cleveland, Ohio. Her name is Dawn. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
I love the new album. It's great.
Thanks.
And what new music are you currently listening to?
Well, everyone's different, but everyone's completely different.
Buck Cherry.
Around the room. Buck Cherry.
We're all digging Buck Cherry.
Kid Rock. There's a lot.
The new Tom Waits album's brilliant. And again, that's not really rock.
He just did 3 sold-out nights here in Los Angeles, though, which is fantastic.
And I just missed them.
No, sorry about that. Now, Mr. Collen, you haven't
I like the Black Crowes album. The new Black Crowes album's very cool.
It is a very good record, yeah. All right, so there you go, Don, and we'll move to Thunder Bay, Ontario to talk with Ryan. Ryan, you're on the show now.
Hello, Def Leppard.
Hi.
I love Euphoria, and the new Buck Cherry City rocks, too.
Yeah, Joe certainly does.
Okay, my question is, Joe, how did you get involved in covering Alice Cooper's Under My Wheels on the Alice Cooper tribute CD, Humanary Stew?
Well, Phil got a call, I think, from Bob Coburn.
Yeah, and
in Los Angeles. And for me personally, it was one of the first songs I ever heard by Alice Cooper when I was about 11. And I've always had a real strong attachment to that song, much more so than, say, School's Out or Elected or anything like that, which we'd also covered in the past. And it was one of Phil's favourites as well, and it was, you know, it was a Saturday afternoon off sort of thing in the studio, and we'd been sent this tape, did we want to do it? So I engineered his guitars, and he engineered my vocal. And
it was great,
We
yeah.
literally did it with the soccer on the telly with the sound down. Just, it was like a hobby recording more than anything else. I mean, we took it serious to a point, but we weren't going to get stuck, you know, doing the Leppard thing to it too much.
Right, because the drums and bass and stuff was already on it, and saxophone and everything, and we just had to fill in over the top, so it was like arrived by post, done our bit, and sent it back by post.
Now, we had Alice on Rockline recently, and he just released a 4-CD box set, so
right.
Guys at Def Leppard, take a cue there, you know, and think about the box set. Now, you mentioned soccer, as we call it here in the States. Are you guys surprised by the women's soccer team and the crowds that are happening here in
Not really,
America?
because just by virtue of the fact that you follow soccer, it is well known to us that it's more popular amongst females for some reason.
But also, it's been great. I mean, when we first come to the States and was playing soccer against teams all over Omaha, Nebraska, you know, we'd trash every team. Next tour, it'd be a bit harder. The next tour, we'd get beat, you know, and now we get trashed.
Now you are the trashy.
Yeah, so it's...
Oops. I think maybe the reason that they're all playing soccer is because they used to come and watch us play 15 years ago.
If these guys can do it.
Wow, if they can do it, we can.
Thanks for the call, Ryan. We're going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska to speak with Ian. Ian, you're on Rockline with Def Leppard.
You're right, Chubbs.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Not bad. The question is, what's the secret to your success when other British bands have gone by the wayside?
We like each other, like I was saying before. We stick together, and I think if you can ride that out, especially with some of the things that have happened to us, you know, a death in the band, what happened to Rick and everything else seems kind of petty after that, and kind of really not such a big deal. So it makes it a bit easier, you know. We like each other, and we stick together, and it's, you know, it's us against the world type of thing.
I think also with Def Leppard, we've never been afraid to want to go global. And a lot of British bands feel this like, oh, you can't go to America, it's like selling out, man. And it's like, we just wanted to play Madison Square Gardens, we wanted to play the LA Forum. We had American management, and that was a major reason, I think, that that turned it around for us, for like worldwide success. A lot of the English bands, they have a mate manage them, and they don't really get much further than the end of the street, and that's the problem. Whereas we were always wanted to get very professional people behind the band, because it was the only way, you know, you want to kick a ball a long way and get a big boot behind it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's what we needed.
But all these events, I would imagine, have put all this into perspective for you guys, too.
I think so.
Made you appreciate what you have a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along the way, these little things, they build a lot of character.
Well, we've had some seriousness, we've had some fun, but now it's time to get rocked. Def Leppard on Rockline.
Do you want to get rocked?
Getting rocked tonight on Rockline with Def Leppard. I'm Bob Coburn. We got Phil Collen, Joe Elliott, and Rick Allen from the band with us tonight. And we have Sil on the line in the Los Angeles area. Welcome to Rockline.
Hello.
Hi,
Sil. Hello, Phil,
Hi.
Rick. I have a question. On the sleeve album for Euphoria, on each song, there's a dot figure and a shamrock. What does that stand for?
That's who does guitar solos. What order the guitar solos come in. My stuff, this is Phil, is the little English rose there. That's me. And Vivian's got, obviously he's born in Ireland, he's got the shamrock, so it's kind of like depicts who's doing the solo in what order.
If you look under their
Pretty clever,
photographs, under Phil's photo, it says his name and then there's a little rose. And then under Vivian's photo, there's his name and a little shamrock. So when you see them at the side of their songs, you know who's doing which solo.
Clever stuff, huh?
Yeah, I actually had the same question, too, so I'm glad that
Really,
got asked.
yeah.
Now, what about Damon Hill, who plays guitar in one of the songs of a famed race car driver? What does he get? A little Indy car?
He gets to retire.
He gets to retire, yeah.
He
Wow.
gets to retire.
Spend some time with his wife and kids.
We'll try and play that song with him on guitar a little later on tonight on Rockline off the brand new album. Right now, a call from Raleigh, North Carolina, and this is Lonnie. Hi, Lonnie. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
I just wanted to say that I'm going to the big, huge fan. I'm going to the Syracuse State Fair. But my question is, what band or musicians make you feel like rock fans?
I think that, well, the general, I mean, we all loved Zeppelin and stuff like that, but I think the general blueprint for us was always Queen, I think. I think that's something we all based it on, you know, the big harmonies, great songs and big guitars, and with a lot of conviction. So we try to do a version of that, really, if you like.
But, I mean, we all grew up listening to different variations of rock music as kids. I mean, there's still, you know, a record comes on that I bought when I was 12. I still get as excited about it now, whether it be T-Rex or Deep Purple, you know, and that's what keeps you doing what you do. I mean, we are fans of music. We don't consider ourselves musicians. That's a very kind of a jazz thing, you know. I'm a musician, man. We just guys that just happen to learn how to do a specific thing and put the fibers together in a pot. It works.
Yeah.
But we're actually fans, and I think that's what keeps the enthusiasm so high.
I got to put in a vote for Queen, though. A pretty darn good choice there. Brian May is just spectacular on guitar. Freddie was the ultimate showman, and you were at the Freddie Mercury AIDS awareness performance at Wembley, which was quite a night. I was there that night as well.
We were terrified, actually. We hadn't done a gig for 3 years.
Oh, really?
It was Viv's first proper gig with the band, and it was like, okay, there's 1 billion people watching on TV and there's 72,000 people out there. Have a good time, guys.
Yeah.
But it was great.
And Liza Minnelli and Elton John, and I mean, just the list of people that was there. It was
very
unbelievable.
cool.
People from Guns N' Roses and on down the line.
Yeah, the best bit for me, and I managed to drag him into it, I had to do it, is when Queen did All the Young Dudes with David Bowie and Ian Hunter, and I dragged Phil almost by the hair onto a backing vocal mic so he could sing on it, just to say that we were part of this amazing lineup of doing my favourite ever song.
And I think Mick Ronson.
Wasn't it? Ronson, Bowie,
last
Hunter.
Performances. Yeah.
It was his last ever live performance.
Yeah, that's sad in its own right. But that show went on sale without any acts announced and sold out. That's what amazed me. They sold out Wembley Stadium without announcing who was going to be there. That's pretty remarkable. Lonnie, good call. Thanks to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bryant, you're on Rockline.
Hi.
Hi.
Are there plans for a home video that would show studio or other footage?
I haven't thought about it. Although we are taking a little thing on tour, so we're going to start filming stuff. But
yeah, we've got a digicamera for the website.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot much in the studio.
There is some footage actually.
Malvin was shooting quite a lot of it while we were in Dublin. So
but that was rehearsals, though.
Yeah, that was mostly right at the end.
Studio stuff.
We haven't got much archive stuff. We didn't start recording on video, you know, like kind of documenting the album or anything like that. We're a bit lazy when it comes to doing that kind of stuff.
Plus,
we're always in the kitchen making coffee.
It's a bit boring. It's Def Leppard, and here's some paint drying. It's like, you know.
So this is the 10 months to do the album, working 6 days a week, and predominantly you were making coffee most of the time. Yeah.
It's Groundhog Day, and for most artists, in fairness, it's Groundhog Day.
Same day, over and over and over again.
Or grounded hog, depending what kind of coffee you like.
There's that as well, yeah. Thanks for the call, Brian. We'll be back in a moment. First, Rockline Remembers, which is brought to you by Stars Movie Channel. Can you remember what year in which these events occurred? Men at Work won the Kiss of Death category, or known as the Best New Artist category, at the 25th Annual Grammy Awards. Van Halen was paid $1 million to play the US Festival, the largest fee ever paid on Rockline.
Now, back to Rockline on Rock 105.
Hey, welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We are live and nationwide in the U.S. and Canada. And time for Rockline Remembers, brought to you by Stars Movie Channel. Could you remember what year these events occurred? Men at Work won the Best New Artist Grammy at the 25th Annual Awards. Van Halen got $1 million to play the US Festival, and Def Leppard released Pyromania. Was it 81, 82, or 83? Rick, what year was it?
81. No, it was 83.
83. You had me going there for a while. I think I had you going when we went into it there for a second.
Yes.
We're going to play Armageddon It, and if one of you would set this up, it's kind of a pun in a way.
Totally. It actually doesn't really mean anything. You know, it was like Armageddon. It was like, oh, good, nice little joke there, and it actually doesn't mean anything, but it's a lot of fun, and we love playing it live, and here it is, Armageddon It.
Armageddon It, got it. Def Leppard on Rockline and Bob Coburn. And we got Joe and Phil and Rick from the band here. And a call from Matt in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Matt, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going? Hey.
It's going pretty good.
Good stuff.
I just had a question for you. I noticed for the Hysteria and Adrenalize albums, most of your drums were all electronic, and then for Slang, you went all acoustic. Now, Euphoria seems to have the best of both worlds. I was just wondering if you could tell me which was which.
This is Rick. I think the knowledge I had from making, past albums like Pyromania, Hysteria, whatever, Adrenalize, I really got into the electronics, and Slang was just a great opportunity to get back to basics again. And now, like you say, I use both, which is even better. So yeah.
Do you prefer one or the other now?
Not necessarily. I mean, there are times we did some percussion down at Phil's house, and that was all real stuff, all acoustic instruments.
And what about on tour?
Horses for courses. It really depends on the song. Some songs really cry out for electronic drums, really, precise sounds, and then other times it's better to go with a real thing.
That's a good call. Thanks for being on, Matt. We're going to head to the Los Angeles area and talk with Lorene. Lorene, welcome to Rockline.
Hi there.
Hi, Lorene.
My question is, first of all, like everybody else is saying, Euphoria is fantastic. It's brilliant. I love it.
It is good, isn't it, Lorene? This is Bob. It's not somebody from the band echoing that. It really is a good CD, isn't it?
It is. It is. There isn't a bad song on it. I just love the whole entire thing. It's right up there with Hysteria, and I hope it does just as well.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's really kind.
Great.
My question is, was there an inspiration behind the making of 21st Century Sha-La-La Girl? It's such a fun little song. I love it.
It was actually the first. That was kind of like the what inspired the sound of the album. Really, that was. We wrote that song. That was the first one, and we said, this is the direction we should go in. Me, Joe, and Sav were sitting around in Dublin. We come up. Joe had this title. Again, it started off. It didn't really mean anything. He said, "I've got this great title. I want to put it in a song one day." And I had this guitar riff, and we just worked on it. And all of a sudden, we got very excited about this one song, and we played it to everyone else, and then everyone else started getting excited, and it just snowballed from there, really.
I think I watched Tank Girl on HBO or something. I don't know what happened, but I just came up with this title, and I thought this would look great on the back of a sleeve. 21st Century Sha-La-La Girl. For a start, people are going to want to know what the hell is one of those.
Yeah.
And it was extra long.
Then can I get one?
Yeah, it was extra long, and where can I get one from, please, sir? So we basically, first time ever, I think, we had the title before we had, a chord, which normally we put music together and then lyrics. It was like, let's work a song around this title, because everybody else liked it as well, so it was obvious that we weren't going to write a song that would be all deep and meaningful around a title like that. It was going to be more in the vein of Sugar or Armageddon It, which was kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it implies fun.
Uplifting,
absolutely, yeah.
Uplifting rock, rock and roll, like, Good Golly Miss Molly, or some of the Little Richard stuff, which has got meaningless lyrics.
And pretty timely for New Millennium. About to
sure, yeah.
Here,
Absolute coincidence. Certainly not going for an angle there.
Sure it was, yeah. Take that one to the bank. Lorraine, thanks for being on. Jeffrey in Anchorage, Alaska. Welcome to Rockline.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Rick. Hi, Phil.
Hi.
Hi, this question is for Mr. Joe Elliott. What was it like working with Ronnie Wood's solo album Slide on This, and have you been on any other albums?
Firstly, it was an absolute blast. It was probably the most fun I've ever had on a record, because it was done very quickly. He phoned me up. He lives 23 miles from me in Ireland, and he phoned me up and said, will you come down and sing on a track? So I jumped in the car and off I went. We just literally finished the Adrenalize album the day before. So I went over there and I sang on this song called... I forgot what it's called now, but it sounds it's like a classic Stone song. It almost sounds like You Can't Always Get What You Want. I always wanted more than I could give you, that's what it was called. And so I did that, and then he asked me if I'd sing some backing vocals on another track. And I said, sure, how does it go? He says, well, I haven't actually recorded it yet, So he threw a bass guitar over my shoulders, right? And I'm stood in Ronnie's studio playing bass with Ronnie on guitar and Charlie Watts on the drums. And I'm stood there going, they're never going to believe me when I tell them.
No, we still don't believe him.
Ronnie's pretty much fun to hang around with anyway. I've been lucky enough to do that. And, he can wear you out in the night.
Yeah, he defines rock and roll. Ronnie is the thing that they make the model from the rock stars from.
That's right, yeah, that's the mold, yeah.
If he was ever going to die, it would have been a long time ago. I think he's destined to live forever.
I think that's the famed album that has the song in there titled My Baby's Left Hand. Which it's a song title on the album.
It could well be, actually.
I think it is that album, yeah.
But I've also I did some stuff with on a Mick Ronson record as well. In 1993, I did some kind of production and a couple of vocals on the very last Mick Ronson studio album, which was called Heaven and Hull, which was a lot of fun again.
So Jeffrey, there you go. You got your full answer there, and we're going to pour some sugar on you right now by Def Leppard on Rockline. Pour some sugar on me. Def Leppard on Rockline and Bob Coburn. We got Joe, Phil, and Rick from the band, and Casey in Houston, Texas. And what's your question tonight, Casey?
Hey, guys.
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, gosh, this is so cool. First of all, I'd like to tell you that you guys are, like, truly my inspiration. And I sent in a MTV Fanatic thing to meet you, but I haven't gotten any word yet, but this is just as cool. Okay? My question is, since you guys were the very first concert I've ever seen, I'd like to know what each of your first concerts were.
My first ever concert was Sheffield City Hall, 1971, T-Rex.
T-Rex.
I was 11 years old.
Mark Bolan, what a great artist.
Blew me away. I couldn't believe it. The City Hall in Sheffield, it's only 2,200 people, but when you're 11, it looks this immense place. When we played there for the first time, I could have sworn I'd have been able to spit onto the back wall. But it was when he was on stage and Get It On had just been out and Electric Warrior was the album, and it was just mind-blowing. I mean, it sets it all up. It's like, I want to do this.
Yeah, Jeepster and Bang and Gone and all that. Yeah, so there's Joe's. Phil, what about you?
Deep Purple, actually. It was, I guess, the Machine Head tour. I was like 14, and it was in the Brixton Sundown, which I think is the Brixton Academy now. It's in London. And that made me want to play guitar. That incident actually just started it off. It was like, wow, front row. Just blew me away.
So the Brixton Academy now.
I think so.
The closest Deep Purple got to any kind of education.
I know, really, yeah.
They're friends. I can get away with that.
Yeah.
Rick, what about you?
Actually, the same building, Sheffield City Hall, and it was Slade, a group called Slade.
That was a British band that did really well in the UK, not as well here in the States, but the people that they hit here in the States, they did really, really well.
They'll be remembered more for the fact that Quiet Riot covered a couple of their songs.
Yeah, And what did they do? A song called Runaway?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an MTV hit in about '83.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That was a good rockin' band.
Kind of sounded like Big Country.
Yeah.
Reminder: everybody who gets on the air tonight gets a copy of Def Leppard's latest Euphoria, courtesy of Mercury Records. Somehow I get a feeling that everybody calling the show and getting on tonight already has a copy, but we'll send you another one anyway. More of Rockline with Def Leppard in just a moment.
Now, back to Rockline on Rock 105.
Welcome back to Rockline. I have Rick Allen, Phil Collen, and Joe Elliott from Def Leppard with me on BC. Bob Coburn going to play another new song from Euphoria, Demolition Man. Somebody tell us a little bit about this and how you got Damon Hill to play guitar and on down the line.
He invited himself on it.
He kind of did. He plays at the end. It's like over the last couple of choruses, for anyone listening out for the guitar stuff, he plays some like Chuck Berry licks. I play the main solo, but it was funny how he got involved in it. He lives in Dublin. And we saw him out a couple of times, and he said, well, I play a bit of guitar and all this. And
the John McEnroe syndrome, yeah, right.
Pete Woodruff, the producer, said, you should come up to the house, play on the album. So we thought nothing of it. Right?
So he did.
5 months. 5 months later, he just called, totally out of the blue. He said, was you serious?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, come on up. And he'd never been in the studio before, but he'd done really well. He came in and gave me a guitar, and he sat down, went through it a few times, and just... Pete got all the good bits, cut them up, and then threw it at the end, and it actually turned out really good.
Now, did you pay him?
Actually, not yet.
He promised to take us to the Grand Prix. But
he did, and then he retired.
Yeah,
so I think,
Gee.
we've been ripped off.
And you'll never get it back.
Wow.
We'll have to get Eddie Irvine on next time.
Well, this song starts the latest album, Euphoria, and this, to say the least, is a rocker. Def Leppard for you on Rockline. Demolition Man, Def Leppard on Rockline, and Phil pointed out Damon's part on guitar, and that's the cool part. I thought that was you, Phil.
Unfortunately,
he did okay.
He done really good, yeah.
I don't have an Indy car or anything, but I'd love to play on one of your albums too. So keep that in mind.
Okay. We'll come down to rehearsal at least.
Yeah, I'm taking you up on that.
Yeah.
I'm taking you up on that. Count on that. From San Diego, Brad, you're on Rockline. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Brad.
Yeah. Congratulations on the album, guys. You certainly named it appropriately.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, I just wanted to ask you guys. You guys have some faint lyrics at the end of the track called "Love Bites," and I just wondered if you could really explain those a little bit as to what those are and what they mean.
This is the legendary Jesus of Nazareth go to hell, supposedly, is what somebody thought that it was. It's what it is. It's mutt on a vocoder.
Muttlang
on a vocoder.
Vocoder, which is the sound that Joe Walsh used and Peter Frampton on Do You Feel Like
No, it's not. That's a voice box. A vocoder is the thing that...
you hear it on some R&B stuff. I mean, you hear
Sparky the Piano was a vocoder, where you talk through, you actually talk, you don't squeeze a tube, it's like a microphone thing. I can't remember they became popular in the 70s, kind of on a novelty level,
like a robot sound, It's
right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's mutt just singing "If You've Got Love in Your Sights, Watch Out, Love Bites," which I actually do live. But he was messing about on a vocoder, and he just got transposed onto the end of the song.
And he's still saying that to Shania Twain.
Indeed he is.
Yeah.
Probably right now as we speak.
As we speak, yeah. As the show progresses. Speaking of progressing, we go from San Diego to Raleigh, North Carolina. Rick, you're on Rockline.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be in your company tonight.
Thanks, guy.
Hi.
Cheers.
Hi.
The immortal beginning to Rock of Ages, I've always wanted to know what the English translation was and what importance that is to the song.
Oh, we actually, me and Steve pointed this out in 1983, what it actually meant. It's an ancient Aztec.
There you go.
I love rock and roll. It's not. It's complete nonsense. It's actually Mutt Lange saying, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, he was counting in. He'd done an Indian one. I think that was supposed to be German, but it's not real words.
It's mock German.
Yeah.
It's stunt German.
German, yeah.
It is.
But it was this is fantastic. We were in Germany. We were in Germany in 1983, I think it was, and some kid translated it apparently in German. He said it meant running through the forest silently.
That was it.
But it's not even real words.
It's not even real words.
Yeah.
Now, what was your reaction when you heard the Offspring song "Pretty Fly for a White Guy" and they sampled that at the beginning of that?
Flattered.
Very flattered.
Very flattered, yeah.
That was great.
Now, we ran into each other about 5 weeks ago, and we were doing something together, and you told me that you were watching a British television program, and they were doing a countdown.
Right.
Do you recall that story?
Absolutely, yeah. And it was like, Offspring was #1. We're going, wow, it's the first time we've been #1 in England. It's on the back of someone else's song.
Unterblieben Glatten Globen, and then Offspring comes on. Yeah. Well, this time it's going to be Def Leppard.
Unterblieben Glatten Globen.
Back with more Def Leppard in just a moment on Rockline. Welcome back to Rockline. What a fun night this has been, and we're not quite finished yet. I have a couple of final questions here. Any other candidates for the title besides Euphoria? Anything else that got kicked around?
Yeah, it was going to be called Def Leppard.
Just Def Leppard?
Yeah.
Phil Collen presents.
That was the other one, yeah. Only got one vote.
The Phil Collen Traveling Road Show with special guests.
The Phil Collen Experience.
And are there any B-sides out there, or was there a song released in the Japanese version, which is common?
There's a ton of them. We've definitely got a retroactive 2 in the can. With the bonus track for Japan is called "I Am Your Child." There's also a song called "Immortal." There's one called "Worlds Collide." There's one called "Burnout." We did 3 covers. We did "Rebel Rebel," Bowie. We did "Stay With Me" by the Faces, and we did an Ian Hunter song called "Who Do You Love." plus Gone.
Yeah, there's
Candy in Your Hands,
a lot of
Lifeless.
stuff, yeah.
There's the demo version of To Be Alive, which sounds a bit like Imagine, Vivian's solo version of it, which is very cool. Bunches of stuff knocking around.
I want to thank everybody for listening and for calling tonight. Also want to thank Sue Tropio at Q Prime and Scott Douglas at Mercury Records, and to Joe Elliott, Phil Collen, and Rick Allen. It's been a really fun night, as always, with you guys.
That's great, thanks.
You guys road ready to go out there?
Yeah.
And so if I come watch you in rehearsal Saturday night...
You tell us on Monday.
Okay.
You see us on Saturday.
Yeah,
you
okay.
tell us-
You got a
tell
deal
us if
there.
we're
You
ready.
don't have to say anything there and then.
I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you.
You've been listening to another fabulously entertaining and award-winning episode of Rockline. Rockline is brought to you by the United States Army. Be all you can be. Did we mention Rockline was award-winning? The superior sound of Rockline was made possible in part by Tello Zephyr, Mackie Mixers, and Sennheiser mics. Sennheiser, microphones, headphones, wireless products. Sennheiser, the sound that moves the world. Thanks to Dee Dee, Felicia, Steve, Carrie, and Scott for their studio assistance. Rockline is engineered by Jimmy Rash. Technical direction by Greg Jernigan. Associate producer Catherine Turman. Rockline is produced by Dominic Griffin. Executive producer Howard Gilman. Rockline is an exclusive presentation of the AM/FM radio network.
Bob and Tom in the morning. West Virginia's best rock and roll all day. WKLC, WCOZ. St. Albans, Charleston, Huntington, Ashland.
This is nonstop rock and roll.
Rock 105.